And here we are at XM Satellite Radio. We love when we invite the guests over to XM and they actually take us up on it. Sometimes like, yeah, whatever, dude. You know how fucking famous I am? I don't need your shit.
We get a polite handshake and they just say, all right, and they take off and they leave it to publicist.
And we got two very famous guys that said, you know what? I don't have the attitude. I want to come and do more radio, which I think is really cool.
I just feel like, this is Andre from The Wire, Bubbles, and I just love talking to our audience. They sat there for five seasons and watched us. So when we get a chance to talk, we're going to let them know how we feel. We're going to say we appreciate y'all. And this is like, being on cable right now, because I can say fuck you and, and I won't get beeped.
No, you're not going to get beeped. It was funny when you mentioned that you were a fan of Lucky Louie. Jimmy's whole attitude changed. And then we wrapped up the first radio show, getting ready to come over to XM. And Jimmy's just hanging with these guys like, he's just hanging with his HBO colleagues. Also, it wasn't like Jim, the radio guy, is like, me and the boys, we're going to hang and just kind of talk shop in the hallways of
he's part of the HBO fam. Because Lucky Louie, like a lot of shows on HBO, it was pushing the barrier on what you see on regular television and taking it to the next level and being honest about a lot of relationships, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, when I have sex with my wife, every once in a while she says the same thing. Okay, let the dubs go.
Yeah.
Let the dubs go. Let's get it done. I got Project One Way on TiVo, and I don't want to I need a little energy to make me a sandwich.
Just get it over with already.
Yeah, Lucky Louie to me was like a real honest relationship, with the cursing and with the attitude of, it's a struggle. Falling in love is hard, but staying in love is a whole lot harder.
Yeah. We had just an amazing conversation in the halls of K-Rock before we came over, and I was asking Bubs, if he's getting more work, and I don't know. You said some really cool things actually, because you're part of the Sarah Connor Chronicles. You had a couple episodes there, right?
Yeah, I had a couple episodes, and Sarah Connor, like I said, television has a lot of great shows that serve their purpose. That some shows entertain, some shows just make you forget about your problems and laugh. And coming off The Wire, you read these scripts from David Simon, Ed Burns, George Policano, Richard Price. These guys really articulate a character's arc with many layers, and you see different sides of a character. So when I went to Sarah Connor Chronicles, I read the script and I'm happy to be working. It's great working with the green screen, and Terminator is a classic, in my generation. But I can't for the life of me understand why my character keeps shooting at the Terminator with a 9mm. I know it doesn't work. I know it doesn't stop the robot from coming. And every scene, we just start popping him with a 9mm. Like, one day it's going to change. And
you're like, oh shit, this would never happen in The Wire.
They change it up. They would do something that would explain why he's shooting it. Maybe he's a little stupid, and he realized that. And 2 seasons before, you find out he didn't go to school. And,
In The Wire, Omar would fuck him and then take his dope and fucking shoot him.
Teach him how to whistle.
And then you mentioned Law and Order and said it would be played out different in the
Law and Order. Law and Order has been the staple for any East Coast actor on the come up. You had to do Law and Order. They really implore, give us a job. They really make sure that actors are always working, but doing it. There was a scene where the cops come in. It was Law and Order Criminal Intent. I'll put you on blast. It was a scene where the cops come into my house, and I have a loaded gun, and I have a murder weapon in my house. And when they come in, I see the hallways clear, so I ran out. And they they yelled cut, and they were like, "Look, we're not as smart as The Wire. Okay, when our cops show up." Just put your hands up and get the handcuffs on. Forget about a chase scene. Forget about the rights and all that. Just get arrested.
But I can get out of here.
Yeah. Unless you put a patrolman right outside, I'm gonna run. And they were like, "Yeah, well, no, we're not doing it. Just move on. We have to get to the lawyer part of the show."
Yeah.
But yeah,
people are bitching because we started this show late. But the reason is we forgot we had another show to do. We're just hanging out with these guys in the hall.
Yeah, just
rapping,
chit chatting. Forgetting we have a job to do.
Chit chatting like, oh yeah, we have somewhere to go. Shit.
Yeah, we got people that pay for subscriptions, and we're just like, fuck it, put them in replay for a few minutes.
Yeah, we're chatting. We're chatting with like guys we admire.
It's actually got to be hard for you because, like Tristan, like you played a guy who just became bad and started shooting people.
Yeah.
It's got to probably be harder. You won't be as typecast, I think, because you were so defined as like a drug addict, man. It's like. It's gonna be hard. Are you be typecast?
I'll tell you why he's not, because like he looks completely different. You know what I mean? Like he's all cleaned up and has a different look than what you're used to from The Wire.
I do, but you know, I mean, the rule of thumb in the movie and television entertainment is you're only as good as your last role.
Exactly.
And the weird part is, you know, I like to take credit and really understand that yes, I played this character that was very, very difficult, very hard, but we all did. You know. Tristan is not a killer, you know. Snoop is, you know, everybody are not doing things that they used to do, and they're acting. And you know, for people outside, when they see me, the first thing they're excited to have my teeth. You know, they're like, you got your own teeth, and your skin looks so good. I mean, it's a compliment to my job as Bubbles. But yes. You know, after the first season, the first fucking scripts I got was cocaine, methane, ecstasy. You know, the business, they don't really gamble as much as they should, or you know, they bet on sure things. If they know you play a good junkie, they're not going to offer you the cop role. They're not going to offer you a lawyer.
Exactly. They do the same thing with me, like all the time. Like I can't tell you how many scripts I've gotten or how many. People ask me, why don't you play this gangster in this TV show? Yeah. I mean, you play such a good gangster on The Wire. Why don't you come over here and shoot a couple people for us? Yeah. I'm like, come on, like I want to be
you want to try
a college
something
student.
Else out, right?
I want to be something else.
You can't tell how many scripts you've gotten. I can tell you how many I've gotten. None. I've gotten none. Could you play a fucking anything? I've gotten none. It's audition like the rest of them, shithead. I get
basically
nothing.
what Jimmy's saying. He'll play a pervert for 100 different people. Yeah, 100 different shows. I mean,
yeah, I'll never get a script for as a real actor, man. I admire real actors. It's fucking. I
don't know. You were a real actor. You did a great job in your show. I don't. You know.
They said just basically be a douchebag, and which was kind of easy.
Kind of him.
Just being me.
And no stretch there.
But we comics typically are fucking awful. We had one of our comedian friends, Rich Voss.
Good.
And Chaz Palminteri comes in and does the show sometimes, and we had Voss surprisingly do a scene. I just watched it on YouTube last night, or on a radio, and it's just great to watch your friend attempt to act with a real actor, and he was awful. He was even worse than I thought.
We should explain this further. These guys would appreciate it. So we tell Rich, because he keeps telling us how he auditions and he's not that good of an actor and he gets nerves and stuff. So we set up a scene where he would just read with Jimmy from a Bronx Tale. Right. But he doesn't know that we got Chaz right outside the door.
Oh, man.
And all of a sudden, at the last second, Jimmy does the old switcheroo, and Chaz walks in to do Jimmy's role. This guy, Rich Voss, I don't know if you know him, just pretty much shit his pants like, holy fuck, you guys suck.
I read with Chaz one time. I did a table read. It wasn't an audition. It was just a table read. And I was... Fuck, you've never seen worse acting. I mean, I was so nervous and bad. It was like, it was like me, but I couldn't even be me. I was just horrendous. I had to do 3 different roles. So I was like, if I'm nervous reading off a script, Voss is going to be petrified.
Yeah, absolutely.
Standing there. So it's very intimidating to work with.
It is. I experienced, you know, on the come up. I mean, I'm an actor. I did a little theater. I was doing like bit parts here and there on my way. My first studio film was Shaft. And I booked the job, and I was happy, and I walked in, and Sam Jackson is, you know, he's sitting there, and it had to be my worst experience of my life, because, you know, I'm Cuban, and I couldn't get my accent right to save my life. I was so nervous, and my accent sounded like I was French. My father and my whole Spanish side of the family just ostracized me and said, you're a disgrace to the family. You sound like a nervous Frenchman.
Oh, you're Cuban for real?
I'm Cuban for real, you know, but you couldn't tell in that movie, because it was just the experience of just walking on the set, just feeling the bigness of the movie or a movie for the first time shook me out my pants.
How was Sam Jackson?
Great. I mean, he's just real natural, real cool. Like, what you so nervous about, man? You're making money. Just act, dog. Just act, and you just don't believe it's that simple. All of a sudden, when you look at him and, you know, think about his path and his career, it was just, you know, that was one of the great things about The Wire first season, when everybody came for the first table read. There was no big star. Like, you just recognize cast from auditions or cast walking around, maybe a movie here or there, but everybody was just like, you know, what up? You think this show's gonna make it? I don't know, man. It's a pilot. You got paid, right? Well, listen, whatever it makes it or not, at least we got our check. You know, let's move on. And I think we saw the first episode together, and we didn't think the show was gonna make it. We thought it was just a bunch of talking heads, real slow. We didn't believe that the audience was gonna really accept a cop show that was stressed out. you know, for one